Hey everybody, here's some unboxing videos. So over the summer we got a bunch of different kinds of turtles and tortoises in, some new species, which was really awesome. You know, I intended to put together separate videos to kind of show each unboxing, and that just didn't happen. You know, I've been really busy, and you can see right now I'm actually driving to work. So I just put them all together into one video, and here it is. Okay, so what we have in the box is 3 marginated hatchlings. These came from Cameron Lamb Exotics. Have bought from Cameron in the past, and so far so good. So I'm really excited to see what we have here. He shipped them in moist sphagnum. These have really bright eyes, and they look good so far. Their bellies are healed. There's no remnants of a yolk sac. So these looks good so far. I mean, this one is wide awake, and his shell is relatively hard. Really happy with that. That's the biggest one. They're all relatively the same size. This one's a little smaller, but he's got a nice hard shell. They're active. This one's a little drowsy, but I'm sure he'll perk up. These guys had a little bit of a rough ride, so FedEx actually held their shipment, delayed it a day, so they had an extra day shipping instead of coming overnight. It took 2 days to get here, which is not ideal, but we all kind of have to fit within FedEx's process, I guess, and that's the risk you take in shipping. But you know, these really look great. Okay, so this is only a temporary enclosure. It's just a cement mixing tub. They have UVB, they have heat. I use organic potting soil mixed with some sand, and then I usually top it with Reptibark or cypress mulch, whatever I have available. They have a little hide there. I have this up here to kind of offer a little bit more shade if they want it. Right here underneath the heat lamp is a rock, so that rock warms up, gives them a little warm space to go. So I add this sphagnum just to make sure that they keep their humidity needs up. Now, this substrate really does hold good humidity, but adding sphagnum really kind of maintains that humidity. Now, it does dry out, so you got to mist it down, and sometimes you got to reapply it or redo it. But this is good stuff, especially for hatchlings. You want to keep that area nice and moist for them. Not wet, moist. So you can see if I squeeze this, there's nothing really coming out of it. But it's moist. It's giving off some really good humidity. And I shove a lot of that underneath their hide. So you can see there's a big mound of it back here. That way, if they want to really kind of dig down and get into a really moist environment, they can. Okay, so these little guys have been soaking for about a half hour, and I'm going to put them in right under the heat lamp. They might not stay there, but at least they'll have a little place to warm up after the long trip. So I think we're going to let these guys settle in a little bit, warm up. We'll try to feed them a little bit later, but it's not uncommon for them to kind of refuse food for the first few days. And plus, these guys spent the last couple days in a box. So, like I said, these came from Cameron Lamb Exotics. I've purchased from Cameron before, and what I got was awesome. And I have no reason to believe that these won't be just amazing as well. Really happy. Cameron, we did have some shipping issues, not on his end. It was a FedEx issue, and he communicated great. And I'm really happy, and I was really pleased with the way he kept those lines of communication open. So, kudos to Cameron. So, talk about tortoises settling in. These guys are actually starting to gnaw on that rock, which is interesting because it could mean a couple of things. It could mean that they're just curious, which is probably the case here. There could be some mineral deficiency, but it could also mean that they want to eat. So, I'm going to grab some romaine and see what happens. You know, while it's really common for tortoises to refuse food after they go into a new home, it's just as common for them to eat right away. So don't worry if they don't eat right away, or if they don't eat for a few days or a week. They'll get there eventually. as long as everything else is, you know, as long as all their other needs are there. But for tortoises that are hatchlings that are in the box for, you know, a day or two or whatever it is, and after they've been through that stress of shipment, for them to eat right away, it's not uncommon, but it's also a really, really good sign. So all three of these guys have taken a nibble of this romaine already, and just another sign that they're probably going to do well. You see that little guy on the far left spreading out, just chilling out, trying to get warm. Yep, they're going to do good. I'm happy. Okay, so what we have here is an adult female Hermann's tortoise that came from a friend on Instagram at the Social Turtle. Paul, he's a good guy. And let's open her up and see what happens. Let's just cut this open without cutting her. And we'll tear into it. There she is.
She's alive.
Here, take her out. She's good size, isn't she?
Yeah. Come on.
Here, I'll help you.
She's heavy too.
Alright, so that's big old female Eastern Hermann's tortoise. She looks good, she looks great. We're gonna give her a good soak and then put her in her temporary quarantine enclosure. So anytime we get a new animal or new tortoise, we soak them right away just to make sure that they are nice and hydrated. I have no doubt that this one's going to be good to go. What do you think, Jack?
I have no idea.
She's beautiful, and we'll just let her soak for a little while, probably about 20 minutes, and then we'll put her in her temporary home. Okay, so she just got her soak. She's doing good. She's lively as anything. This is going to be her temporary quarters. It's the enclosure that I kept my Hermanns in during the wintertime, and it's empty now, so we'll keep her in here for about 30 days, and then we'll, assuming all is well, we'll introduce her to the rest of the group. So what I like to do when I get new tortoises in, I just let them go into their enclosure. I make sure that the enclosure has everything they need. She's got water all the way down at the end. I'll probably get her a bigger water dish, but for now it's okay. I threw in some dandelions right there in case she wants to take a little nibble. A lot of times they will eat right out of the box, but a lot of times they need some time to settle in. So I just like to leave them alone. I'll watch from afar, you know, check on her throughout the day, make sure that there's no issues. I really don't foresee any issues with her, but you know, you never know. So you know, she has everything she needs. She has water, she has space, she has a place to hide, she has a little bit of food, plenty of heat because it's in the greenhouse. One thing I do have to worry about with this enclosure, especially this time of year, is it getting too hot. So I'll have to keep an eye on her, make sure she's misted down, make sure you know, she has everything she needs, she doesn't get dehydrated. So it's like, it's not the ideal situation for her, but I can control the temps in here because she's on the floor. And then I have exhaust fans in the greenhouse. I open the doors every day. But that is one thing that I do have to keep an eye on, making sure she doesn't get too hot in here. So I'm told from my friend Paul that her name was Petunia. And, you know, assuming the kids are okay with that, we'll keep that name going. Welcome to the family, Petunia.
E.
Carrot.
Spot.
Sunny.
And Proxima.
Alright, cool beans. Think they're gonna like it?
Yeah.
There they go. A nice big enclosure, right?
Yep.
Mallory? No.
Okay, so today's unboxing is wood turtle hatchlings. There we go. There we go. North American wood turtles. Oh, and they're lively. So cool. Should be 3 more in here. Yep, 3 more. They look great. Okay, so for now I'm just gonna get these guys out of here. You don't have to soak these like you do tortoises, obviously, because they're going right in the water, but they are shipped in this sphagnum moss. So I'm gonna take them out of here, put them in here. Some of that sphagnum will kind of come off. I'm not gonna wash them, but some of that sphagnum will fall off in this water here before I put them in their actual enclosure. All right, that's done. Now I'm gonna put them into their enclosure. So their enclosure is very simple, just a plastic sweater box with about, 2 inches of water in there. Some of these plastic plants just for, interest and maybe a little bit of a sight barrier. And then this sweater box is sloped up with a piece of wood back there underneath of it, so they can get out onto drier land up here if they want to dry off. We have a UVB mercury vapor bulb right here that's set on a timer. And this is where they're gonna live for, at least the next few months. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these guys. So they're all in. So they're a little pale right now, a little dull looking, very brown. But as hatchlings, they tend to be a little duller looking than the adults that get those big bright red oranges or reds, most of them are legs. So these are only maybe about a month old, but you can tell their yolk sac is totally absorbed, and they're good. So North American wood turtles are a first for me, and I'm really glad we got them. I've been wanting to get into wood turtles for a long time. It's one of those turtle species, though, you got to make sure that it's legal to keep in your state, and if they are, then I would encourage you to, go get them. Make sure they're captive bred. These guys came from someone in California. I've been lucky enough to be part of a group of keepers that are trying to keep these in a way and do things in a way where it's less strain on wild populations. So we'll see how that works out over the next few years, and we'll keep you updated on that. So the tub that they're in right now is there's no filtration, there's no nothing. This is water that I'll have to change every day. So it's a very sterile enclosure. I'm not a big fan of sterile enclosures, not because they don't work. They work perfectly fine, and they make keeping them a lot easier. I just like the appeal of a more natural look. You don't even have to have these fake plants in here. But the good thing about this tub is I have a spare tub, and I have plenty of this spare plastic plants. So every day I'll switch it out and I can wash everything with soap, but there'll always be a clean set available whenever I need it. And for the time being, we're just going to be feeding them Reptimin. Over time, we'll introduce things like, live insects and worms and stuff like that. But these guys have been eating Reptimin, from what I'm told, from their previous owner. We'll just stick with that for now. I don't know if they're going to eat right now because they just went through all that shipping from all the way from California. But let's see if they will. Oh, that one right there. This guy right here ate some that floated down. That guy's gonna go for one on the bottom, I think. Yep. So it's always a great sign when your turtle or tortoise eats right away after they've gone through shipping. It means that they are, one, interested in eating. You don't have to spend a lot of time trying to get them to eat. And two, that they have a will to live and all that fun stuff. Whenever I get a new turtle or tortoise, I always try to feed them right away. I never expect them to eat right away, but a lot of times you're lucky and they do start eating right away, like these guys. This is from a friend in Indiana, Matthew Hills. Good guy, love him. And we traded some turtles and tortoises back and forth. So let's open it up and see what's in there. So right here should be a female Hermann's tortoise.
I got it.
Hang on, let's look at her. She looks good. I like it. All right, Jack, you take her and put her in the black bin to soak. Okay, in here, another little Gulf Coast box turtle. About the same size as the ones I have right now. Looking good. Okay, and here, another adult redfoot tortoise.
Male. Tender.
Get him out of this bag.
This boy's gonna be heavy. Here. Hey.
This is a male redfoot.
Fever.
I needed another mature male for my group. So here you go.
Oh,
He's peeing. I'm gonna put him in the bin right there to soak. And the last one, which is the most, they're all very exciting, but this is the most exciting for me because it's the new one that I haven't had yet, is a little spotted turtle. It's a first, and my kids are dying to meet this little guy. You can see his hand, my son's hand. No, can't have him. Look at that. Amazing.
Like the wood turtles, his tail.
So these guys are going in the greenhouse for now. We'll take the Gulf Coast box turtle. I'm going to put him right in this enclosure with the other ones.
He's a big one. He's a big one.
Yeah.
And very scratchy like the
There
others.
we go. We'll let him settle in.
And what about our new spotted?
Spotted turtle. Okay. All the way back there, Jen.
All the way back in the empty one?
Yep. So we set up this bin here. Put him on the land section, Jeff. There you go. And this is only a temporary enclosure for him because he'll be outside full time once he gets big enough. But we have this little Zoom Ed tub here with some live plants and some land area for him to get out.
And just for the little guy to go in and jump.
And he'll get in.
His tail looks like the wood ones, the wood turtles.
There he goes.
Tail's very long.
This has a filter hooked up to it. The fluid will have
He
had
doesn't
4.
swim very well. He doesn't swim very well down there. You can see him right down there.
No, he'll get adjusted.
Hopefully he can get to the top to get. Oh my god, he's a fast swimmer.
Yeah, he'll adjust.
Hopefully.
But if he doesn't adjust, then we'll
I think
figure out
there's a
something
little,
else that works for him.
I think there's a little bit of a current on with the filter.
There is.
That's good.
All right, so these guys have been soaking for a while. The Herman's tortoise is there. Redfoot tortoise is in there. So we're going to take that one and put it in its quarantine quarters in the greenhouse. We did put some food out for her. Turn it towards food. I don't think she'll eat right away, but you just never know. So she'll be in quarantine for a while. Make sure she's good to go. Very exciting stuff. All right, let's give her time to acclimate. We'll go grab the redfoot. So this guy's going in our winter redfoot enclosure, which you can see is way overgrown. But we obviously don't want to introduce him to the group at the moment. We want to make sure that he's healthy and that he doesn't give any funky stuff to our group. And vice versa, our group doesn't give any funky stuff to him. So he's going to quarantine in the winter redfoot quarters. Plenty of room, plenty of weeds. He'll probably mow all this down. He's got fresh water right there, which I'm sure he'll make dirty. Plenty of places to hide at the moment. And if he wants to hide more, he has under there. So yeah, very exciting stuff. What do you think?
I think it's really exciting to have more turtles and tortoises.
Awesome. All right, so on to our next unboxing, and this is probably the last one for this video, but this is from our friends at Shelled Friends. Good guy. Michael is awesome. Great guy, good to talk to, full of information, takes care of his animals, and I'm really happy to get a couple of his animals as well. So he included some cool stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? Okay. Another North American wood turtle. Perky. Looks good. And he or she is roughly the same size as the ones that I have now, which means that I can probably put them together. So that's good. But for now, they're going to be going separate enclosures, and we'll decide how long we want to quarantine them and go from there. So that's one. He looks awesome. We're just going to keep him right there for now. And here, look at this spotted turtle. And man, it's tiny. North American spotted turtle. They are awesome animals. I mean, look at that shell. Isn't that awesome? So we have one spotted turtle already. This will be number 2, but this one's a lot smaller than the other one I have. The other one's a yearling and a lot bigger. So we're going to separate them until this one gets a little bigger, and then we'll put them both together. Look, isn't that great? Spotted turtle. Love it. So here's the 2 tubs, right there and there, that these 2 little guys are going to go in. This is just a large concrete mixing tub. The wood turtle's going to go in there, and that's just a smaller little tub for the spotted turtle. As you can see, I put some water-loving plants in here. Hopefully these keep the water pretty clean. If not, these are pretty easy just to do water changes on them. So we're not going to be using any filtration, but we think that the plants should do a half-decent job of keeping it clean. If we have to throw some filtration in there, we will. If we don't do that, water changes will do just as good. First things first, wood turtle goes right in here. And there it goes, hiding under the plants. Okay, and here is our spotted turtle enclosure. There's our little spotted turtle. Put this little guy right here, and I bet you he'll dart right in. That's him right down there. He's got plenty of plants to hide under. He has a rock to climb out on to bask. He could even climb on top of these plants to bask if he doesn't want to go on top of the rock. So yeah, he has shelter, he has a way to hide, and we'll be good. And there he goes, hiding. Same thing with the wood turtle, who I've already lost. Oh no, there he is. He's way over there in the corner. So these are obviously not permanent enclosures. These are just hatchlings, so we will keep them in here probably for at least the winter time in this size enclosures. And then we'll decide next year if they're big enough to go outside in full sun in a permanent pond, or if we have to keep growing them out a little bit. But eventually the goal is to build ponds for these guys outside so they can live outside 24/7. But for now, this winter, they'll live in the greenhouse in these little mini ponds, and I'm sure they'll do good. And like I said, this spotted turtle in here will probably go with the other spotted turtle I have once this one gets size, so they'll be together. And then the wood turtles that I have inside the house will probably go in here because this is actually a much bigger enclosure than they have inside, and I like nicer enclosures, so this is a nicer enclosure. It's a little bit more natural. Obviously it's not perfectly natural, it's a concrete mixing tub, but I think that this will be a better situation for them than the sweater box I'm keeping them inside. So we'll see. All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed all these unboxings. We did a lot this summer in terms of getting more animals in. We moved a lot of animals out, and we're refining our collection here. I know a lot of folks find these unboxing videos real entertaining, so I figured, why the heck not? Why not put them all together into one video? So I hope you enjoyed the video. Where's that spotted turtle? There he is, poking his head out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again soon.